That's right, Emily. In honor of Curtain Up, which is coming up just this next weekend, I think, we're going to be highlighting some of the wonderful theaters we have here in Western New York. And I'm so excited to be here today. I'm joined with Saul ELkin, the artistic director of the Jewish Repertory Theater. Now, first of all, welcome to Winging It, Saul.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're not part of Curtain Up, and we were talking about this during the break.
Well, Curtain Up always falls during the Jewish New Year, and so we sort of maneuver around that, and we begin our season right after Curtain Up. And we have a three-play season that starts immediately after Curtain Up in early October.
Okay, and I think the date of that is specifically October 18th.
Right.
What play are you going to be putting on?
We're doing a brand new play called The Whipping Man, which is a most interesting play set on the last day of the Civil War. I thought I knew something about the Civil War until I read this play, but it starts with a wounded Confederate soldier coming home on the last day of the war, and he happens to be Jewish.
Okay.
And he comes home to his ruined plantation. His family has fled, and there are two former slaves there. They were emancipated that day. And they're also Jewish because they grew up with him in this Jewish plantation. And what follows is an interesting story about the relationship between this Confederate officer and these former slaves who are not slaves anymore. At one point, he says to one of them, "Get me a glass of water," and the former slave says, "I'll get it for you, but you have to ask me next time." So it's really about the relationship between master and slave. It's about the Civil War. The other interesting thing about this that, you know, we don't learn in school is that the Civil War ended on the first night of Passover. I mean, it's not in the history books unless you're a Jewish scholar. Lincoln was shot on the 5th day of Passover.
Okay.
This has no relationship to the Civil War history, but has a lot to do with this play, because this play revolves around the fact that what they want to do is to celebrate Passover, which is the freedom of the slaves in Egypt, Jewish slaves in Egypt, and connected to their freedom, the two slaves in the play. So it's a really, really interesting
So you can almost draw some parallels there, I'm sure, throughout the play.
Absolutely. It's a very touching and very, very moving play.
So the play starts October 18th. It's going to run through November 11th, so you have about a month to go and catch it. It's called The Whipping Man. What else is going on at the theater? Well,
we're doing 3 plays this season. Our second play comes in February. It's called Mr. Benny, based on the career of Jack Benny, the great comedian, who for years had a radio show and a television show, and it's a one-person show, and Jack Benny is being played by Tim Newell, who's a wonderful local actor who really channels Jack Benny in this. Very, very funny. And then in the spring, we're doing a play called My Name is Asher Lev, which is based on a novel that lots of young high school kids read. And it's the story of a young boy who grows up in a Jewish family and develops artistic talent which separates him from his family and from his very Orthodox community. So it's a very well-rounded program that we're doing.
It sounds like you have 3 great plays coming up during this theater season. And real quick, where is the theater located?
The theater is located at the Jewish Community Center in Amherst and on North Forest Road in Amherst. We have a brand new theater just built this past year.
How wonderful.
Yeah, we've just spent 1 season in it. I mean, it's a sort of mini version of what the Irish Classical Theater looks like. It's a theater in the round with a full lighting system and sound system. It's a gorgeous little theater.
Saul, thank you so much for being here today. So nice meeting you.
Yes.
The play starts, The Whipping Man starts on October 18th, so you want to mark your calendars. We'll link up a website to our website, wingingit.tv, where you can find out all the information about show times and that sort of thing. For now, though, we're going to send things over to Emily in the kitchen.